to...
They wanted me to call in to talk to you, bro, so I figured I'd call you back. And I didn't want to, like, call in and call you a fag, because everybody kind of knows you're a fag and shit, so we don't have to bring that shit up. I wanted to call in to tell you that you sit there and have your little... What?
Yeah.
I gave you...
Go ahead.
Shut the fuck up for a minute and let me talk, homie. Your show is probably the worst piece of shit I've ever heard in my life, and you actually think that by saying that your show sucks, that you're somehow relieving the fact that it sucks. But, dude, you're lucky to be on our network. You're fucking lucky that we have our shit on your fucking Now Live, to be honest with you, bro. And the fact that you dissed Howard, I don't care. That's your opinion. I like Mancow. Like I said, Mancow helped Insane Clown Posse become big. I like Insane Clown Posse, so I'm cool with Mancow. So I ain't got a beef with you about the Mancow shit. I got a beef with you because you suck. And the only good part about your show is Heather, and you railroad the fuck out of her by cutting her mic off or fucking turning her down or making her be all quiet and shit. I just wanted to call in to say, Heather, you could do way better than this. This guy's show is a pile.
Then let her. Then let her. She can quit at any time. She can fucking leave at any time. Okay? Just like you can stop listening at any time.
But Rev, I have a very, very, very interesting point I want to run by. And granted, I'm from an unbiased point of view, and yet I still got railroaded by monkey sex before. Regardless, okay? You literally, from last night when I was watching Ford, and then I was watching today, kind of, here. Yeah, everybody's been, it's been badmouth Ford Day, pretty much. Call him a homo, whatever it is. I don't really care what it is, okay? But aside from the fact, it wasn't until he voiced his opinion about Howard Stern that everybody started talking, because I guarantee last night, if he hadn't said shit about Howard Stern, nobody'd be saying he's a homo right now. It's all started because it snowballed from him saying his opinion. Because I've seen him on Syndicate for how many weeks now? No one's called him a homo before now.
No.
It started last night.
As soon as I said that.
I was literally drunk, entertaining a friend who's going back to the military, today, and I walked over to see what Ford was doing, and I was watching this shit happen, okay? I watched before he said it, it was clean. Right after he said it, boom, 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 boom. Homo, sex, monkey sex, whatever the fuck was said. I don't care. But it started because of something someone said, okay? So whatever logical reason you have to knock Ford right now, okay, that's on you. But you didn't say it beforehand.
No, he did. Rev was the only one.
Okay, well, Rev...
You weren't there yesterday. Rev was the only one that has been anti-Ford. And that's fine, because you're not going to make everybody happy.
Right, but I'm saying this in the line like monkey sex.
Shut the fuck up and let me talk. Listen, man, your co-host is fucking annoying, and your listy little faggot voice is pissing me off, so shut the fuck up for a second and let me talk. I don't like you because your show sucks, dude. You're lucky to be on our network. You're lucky that Dino gave you the fucking shot to be on our shit, homie. You're on a fucking network that's been heard on Howard Stern, that's been fucking heard fucking numerous times on that show, dude. And Howard's the #1 disc jockey in the fucking world, not just America, the fucking world. So you're lucky to be on our shit. And the fact that your show sucks is offensive to me. And the fact that your little faggot minion little queer bait listener says my shit sucks is fucking foolish, because I've had more listeners than you'll ever have in your life, homie. The point is, I could crush you in any given day, homie. Any given fucking day, I can crush your numbers.
Do I care?
So if you want to go up against, I don't know if you give a shit or not. Frankly, I don't give a shit. But I'm telling you right now, if you can get 1/10 of the listener base that I had, I'll fucking quit net radio. I'll be your #1 fan, dog. I'll be there every fucking day. But Ford is a shit. Ford is a shit. But homie, you ain't gonna do it, dog. The motherfuckers in this room right now that are backing you don't even know shit about nothing. They're all, oh, Rev, who's Rev? Look my fucking name up, dog. I've been on 3 of the biggest networks on the internet and had the #1 show on all 3 of them. So that's all I wanted to call in to say. Is Heather still on the phone by any chance? Or did you hang up on her?
No, I muted myself. Sorry.
All right. You're cool. You're cool as shit, honey. You should really do your own show, because these guys are making you look bad. So if you ever need your own show,
Heather.
you talk
Quit
to me.
now.
You should
quit now. Because
wow, are you kidding?
Rev knows all. Okay.
She would crush
Bottom
your
line
shit
is,
in a minute, dog.
Here's the funny thing.
What's up?
The funny thing is,
what's up, homie?
Captain's the one who's been talking like the last 5-10 minutes. You weren't even talking to Ford. So
well, no.
The bottom line is, I never said.
He's got his own opinion.
I never said that
You never said
I had the greatest.
Hey.
I had the greatest show. I never said that I was better than you. I never said that I was better than anybody else. I never said any of that. And the fact that you're coming at me. See, where is the list that this asshole keeps talking about?
I don't know.
Have a huge
okay?
list.
And this is
the
one thing
fucker.
I don't. This is the one thing I don't get. Okay, despite set the whole Ford show sucks thing aside.
What is the one thing that you don't get?
Okay, you wanted to talk before. Now let me talk. Okay.
Okay, I'll
you wanted to talk before. I let you talk. Now let me talk. Okay, I'm trying to make a logical point. About being an asshole.
Tell him who's talking.
This is just Captain talking, not Ford. Okay. All right. Listen. Aside from the fact that maybe Ford show sucks in your opinion. Maybe you have $18,000 listeners wherever. Okay. The point is, we don't do this, or Ford more namely, because my show was a big failure. But whatever. I'm willing to admit that now. Okay, we don't do this because we care about the listeners. Yeah, we do. We like to entertain. That's our job when we come on here, is to entertain, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, I don't give a shit who's listening. I don't care if I have one listener. I don't care if I have 18,000. Okay, I worked at radio for 4 years. I never knew how many people were listening. All I know is I went on there every day when I had the chance. I did something because I liked to do it, and that's how I wanted to do it. Okay, which is how Ford operates. He does it because that's how he wants to do it. If you don't, okay, you are. You're on here saying you're lucky to be here. You know what? I don't know the story of how he got on here. Okay, I don't personally care. He does his own thing because that's what he does. And somebody asked him to be on Syndicate Radio on Thursdays. Okay, so somebody was intrigued by Ford's show on Wednesdays to actually ask him to be on Syndicate Radio. Okay, I don't know who makes the decision. I don't care. But when you're an entertainer on the radio, okay, you shouldn't go into being a cocky bastard.
You got to be entertaining. See, that's the problem. Y'all don't have content. He even said himself he didn't prepare for his show. How's that entertaining, bro? You got to prepare for that shit.
Not today's show. He literally got asked like an hour or 2 hours before the show went on.
Last night.
I don't, man, that don't matter. I used to go on 5-minute notice, and I'd have a killer show. So I don't know what you're talking about, bro. It's all about mental preparedness.
Again,
you don't got
what I don't like about radio personality, myself included. We compare ourselves to each other like we're the same, okay? It's apples and fucking oranges. Every show is different in some way, okay? You can't compare one to the other because, you know what, the content's always going to be different. People are going to be different on the radio. No radio personality is the same as the other one. I'm not going to compare Danny Bonaducci to Jonathan Brandmeier here in Chicago because they're two different people. Not going to compare Mancow and Howard Stern because they were two different types of shows. You can't do that. It's impossible unless Mancow is literally taking Howard Stern's script from the show and reading it off as his own. You can't. I don't care how many listeners you have. I really don't. I don't even care how many listeners I have at the time.
Hey,
who cares if you have a killer show? If you have a killer show, great, good for you. Be done with it. Do your show. That's fine. Okay, but
you're a very
don't
angry
badmouth other people because you have a good show. I'm a very debative individual.
Man.
You're right.
No, angry. You're angry. You need to calm down.
I know a lot about. I will
voice
it, whether it's wrong.
I'm just trying to tell you that you're a fucking faggot and that your show sucks. You don't need to get angry.
He doesn't even realize who he's talking to.
Yeah, I think
he's talking to fucking Cap. You're talking to Captain, idiot. You're not talking to Ford.
You're on the show.
It is now.
Dumb fuck.
No, Captain's never here.
Right?
No,
he's
here today.
Let the fucking guy. Let the list. Then shut the fuck up and let the lispy faggot defend himself. Why you gotta have somebody else fight your battle for you, Doc? Why don't you get on the phone?
Fighting a battle for fucking Ford. I just said I don't give a shit about Ford's show in a sense, okay? I don't care.
I just let him talk.
I'm telling you. That's the point. Thank you for making my point.
If you didn't give a shit, why did you call in then? That's it. I'm done.
Oh my god!
I called in to say hello to Heather. I wanted to say hi, Heather. She has a good voice for radio. That she does a good show, but the fucking Ford guy brings it down like 50 notches, dude. So Heather, you need to get your own show on our network. Tell this Ford guy to go buff a dick because he's pretty good at it. Get on the street and suck a dick because you're a fag. And Heather gets her own show, and we'll all be happy, bro. That's all I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to just say that you suck and Heather's cool. That's why I called in, man. That's it.